everybody. Cheers. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this week's episode of Trades Lady Happy Hour. This is the show, losing my ability to speak here apparently. I haven't even started drinking yet. Trades Lady Happy Hour is a weekly show, if you're new here, where we celebrate women in the trades. All sorts of different trades, mostly focusing around automotive, but sometimes we dip our toe outside of that. To celebrate women in the trades. There's not a whole heck of a lot of them out there. Women make up generally about 2.5% of all automotive technicians. It varies amongst the other trades, but not a whole heck of a lot. And while there's not a lot percentage-wise, there are a ton of amazing women out there doing really awesome things in their careers and in their lives. And this is the weekly show that is dedicated to celebrating them, sharing their stories, helping spread the good word that there's a lot of amazing women technicians out there, women tradespeople out there. So this week, we will be joined by Brooke Shorey, otherwise known as the Mad Brooker on Instagram. She is a relatively new technician. She's been in the industry for about 4 years. She works at a Ford dealership. She also balances out that with being a mom of 3, which I don't know how she does it. I can't even handle having myself to take care of, let alone 3 little human beings on top of having a career. So already I'm impressed with her. I've been following her for some time. She's a ton of fun. I think this is going to be a really great happy hour. I'm excited to have her join me so we can learn a little bit about her journey, her story. And without further ado, I'm going to see if she is in the room. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Are you still being nervous?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
No need to be nervous. No need to be nervous at all. Just be you, your fantastic self.
Okay, thanks.
Are you at home?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
yes, I see the cat behind your head.
Yep, that's Bill.
I like it. That's an unusual name for a cat. Hi, Bill. My orange man will probably be joining us at some point here because every time the camera comes on, he's like, "Yay, camera time!"
Awesome.
And I'm going to apologize in advance for my cough. I'm still recovering from COVID land, but
oh yeah. No, that's cool.
Fun. So welcome. I gave everybody a little bit of an introduction to who you are, but in your own words, would you like to introduce yourself to the fine folks at home?
Sure. I'm Brooke. I'm from Maine. I don't know. I guess I started. It was like a gradual. I don't know how to say it. Gradual liking into coming and getting into this career. I guess I kind of got it from my dad. He was always our mechanic, growing up, and he was a wicked gearhead when he was younger. So,
was he professionally a technician, or just was the family's mechanic because he was able to do it?
Just family mechanic. Yeah. He drove like 18-wheelers and whatnot. So
okay.
Big job. Yeah.
Nice. So did you, when you were young, is it something that you always kind of wanted to do, seeing your dad do work on vehicles, or did you have no interest when you were a kid?
I didn't have any interest when I was little. I was more interested in horses, so I did a lot of horseback riding.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of started while I was watching him work, and he was, out in the yard, right in the dirt. And then I found muscle cars, so that's when it really started.
Damn, muscle cars, I'll do it every time.
Yeah.
Was there one in particular that you're like, oh yeah, I'm interested?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact year. It was but it was a Firebird. That's what really got me into it. And then Firebird and Camaros, Novas. I was like,
Nice.
wow.
All right, so I have to ask, what do you drive?
uh, Currently, well, it changes all the time, honestly. We can't stop like buying vehicles. But right now we have I just got it not that long ago, 18 Chevy Silverado. Um, and I still have it. I have a 91 Ford Probe.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
that's
muscle
kind of
cars,
weird.
though.
Well, I did have my second car I ever got was a 94 Camaro.
Nice.
Yeah, that had a LT1 in it. That was awesome. I freaking loved it.
Nice.
And I have a 85 Fox Body Mustang, but it's in pretty rough shape. So
That's the joy of being able to fix them yourselves, though.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so Firebirds, what caught your interest initially? Then what happened?
Um, I don't know. I was lost for a little while, like high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I don't know why, but I thought cars like I felt like I could do it. I don't mind getting dirty or greasy or anything like that, and so it kind of piqued my interest. And it took me a while to actually do it. I had Skylar, my daughter. She's 10 now, but so she kept me busy for a while, and then I finally decided that I needed to do something. Like, um, I did start out working at a bakery, and
Yeah.
which was fine, but it just it kind of got once I learned it, it got boring. So, and I felt like I don't know, I just needed to do something else, and then I was trying to figure out how to do this, how to start into it. I didn't know how really, and then somehow I heard about this community college that's like an hour away, and I just applied. Like I had to stop thinking
On a
about
whim.
it, just do it.
All right. Did
Yeah.
you, I'm curious, like, we talk a lot in the industry about how do we attract more people and how do we attract young people and how do we attract women to the industry. Like, did you feel like you had to really seek it out, or did you feel like that you saw opportunities to pursue automotive? Like, were you exposed to it aside from your dad and kind of growing up around that?
I mean, there was what's it called? I guess like a vocational school. They offered a automotive program.
Is this
But
in high school or?
yeah, like you can like once you're in high school, you can choose to go there if you'd like
Yeah.
to. At the time, I didn't have a friggin' clue, so of course I wish I did, but oh well.
So the
But
the
yeah,
community school that you went to, did you seek it out
yeah,
or okay.
yeah, yeah. I think I might have heard it from that vocational school. They talked about it. My husband was working there at the time, so I think I
Oh,
kind of heard it through him.
nice.
Yeah, and then they also started doing night classes, so that that really I applied before then, but then the night class showed up, so I made sure I had to go there, so that way I could work at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have to kind of seek it out. Wasn't
Yeah.
broadcasted. So
How were you received in tech school in this
um,
program?
they were great. Really, they were awesome. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I didn't have any issues. I was the only girl there.
How big of a program was it? Like how many students were there?
Um, Trying to remember.
Like a lot?
No, not like a ton. It was
Okay.
like I don't know, there's probably 12 of us, I think.
Oh, so it's a small
So
class. That's awesome,
yeah, it wasn't
actually.
bad. So yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
So you got a lot of time with the teacher if you
Yeah.
needed it, so it was cool. I liked it a lot.
How long of a program was it?
Well, it's a 2-year program, but you got to do other things besides automotive, like English
Oh.
and stuff. And it had been a while since I've done any of it, so I kind of had to like do a little bit more than I was
Yeah.
supposed to, But
Well, you've been busy like raising a small human, so.
right, yeah. uh, yeah, so I did finish the automotive stuff, in 2 years, and
Nice.
but I did take a little bit longer so that way I could finish out my English and math, and I had to take a psychology class, and so, but yeah, but it was good in a way, so
Right.
I was okay with
And
it.
you were working at the same time?
Yeah, yep,
Were
yes.
you working in the industry or were you still at the bakery?
The first year I was in the bakery, and so I'd work all day, and then sometimes I'd have to leave a little bit early so that way I could go to a class. But usually the automotive class would be, I think it was start at 4 or 5, and I went until like 9 o'clock at night. And then I had to
Wow.
drive an hour back home.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
That's
so I did that.
commitment right there.
Yeah, it was really rough. Yeah,
Yeah, I can
I do
imagine.
that like 4 or 5 days a week, depending. Yeah.
That's a lot. That is
Yeah.
definitely commitment. Did you ever have any points where you were like, this is too much?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I was overwhelmed all the time.
How
Yeah.
did you handle it all? I mean, that's a ton, and you were young at the time. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I'm not really sure, really.
I
um,
appreciate your honesty.
yeah, like now that I think about it, I'm not sure how I pulled it off. It was extremely hard and overwhelming, and just school, work, and then dealing, with personal stuff and taking care of my daughter Skylar. And I was with my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. So it was crazy. I don't know. I just kept going. But there was a couple times where I had to just stop and sleep. Like my body was like, nope, that's
Nope,
it.
I'm done.
Yeah, you can't do it.
hmm I know that feeling well.
Yeah. So,
Mentally, you're like, yeah, let's go. And your body's like, mm-mm.
yeah. Even like downtime, I studied constantly all the time, like before work or after work and school on lunch breaks. Yeah. It took up my whole entire life, that 2 years pretty much.
Yeah, I can imagine. I have to ask because I just have to ask. When you were at the bakery, were you baking or were you selling?
Well, the bakery is like in a small grocery store. So
Okay.
I started out in the deli, like making sandwiches, and
Okay.
then I graduated, I guess, to the bakery. I liked the bakery. It was cool, but it kind of got just repetitive once you
Yeah.
figured it out. And I'm a wicked overthinker, so I go to autopilot and like not
Yep.
even there, stuck in my head.
I feel like that's a common trait amongst auto mechanics because like we're the type of people who get bored quickly. And
Yeah,
what makes automotive awesome is because it's always something new and there's like not a lot of opportunity to get bored with what you're doing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you were going from working on cars with dirty hands and then going to the bakery and baking. How, like I used to waitress at night and it was the same kind of thing. Like I used to wear dark nail polish to hide the grease so that my tables didn't think that I was just dirty. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Oh
excuse me.
man. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I didn't have to deal with customers or anything, so that was, that was plus. I'm usually not much of a people person. So.
That's all right. That's right. That's why we work on cars, right?
Yes. Yep.
So when you got to school, like, was it what you thought it was going to be? Like, you kind of came from zero experience, zero knowledge other than watching dad. Like, was it what you thought?
I didn't really know what to expect, really. I try not to do that because I don't want to be, I don't know, like, I definitely wasn't disappointed. But, just go in with an open mind and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Did you like it right away?
Yeah, yep, I did. Yep. I mean, everyone there was great. Teacher was awesome. And yeah, just started out slow, and I picked it up fine. That's what I was worried about. I wasn't sure. Um, I I was so brand new to it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
anything, so I didn't know
Yeah.
how we are gonna start out because everyone there was kind of already working at a garage, or like they'd had some experience, but
Yeah. That was my experience going to tech school too. I knew nothing. And I showed up like the first week and I realized that everybody there had been like playing with their cars for years or
yeah,
working at a shop or like
yeah,
had been in the industry for a few years already. And I'm like, I don't know anything. This is a little overwhelming.
yeah, yeah.
Do you remember a moment, like, do you have a moment where you were like, yes, this is it. I made the right choice. This is what I'm gonna be good at. This is what I want to do.
Um, I'm trying to think.
Or did it
Yeah,
just
I
grow
think.
on you slowly like moss?
No, it felt. I don't know. It felt pretty natural. Like, it's weird. Well, I'm pretty shy, and I have a hard time coming out of my comfort zone, and that was way out of my comfort. But once I started doing it, like, I felt okay. It felt good and natural. And then I guess there was a time when we were working with the torches, like they wanted us to be familiar with it, and so we had to cut some stuff, and I
Nice.
think that was it.
Of course, of all the
Yeah,
things, you're like, yes, destruction.
yeah, yeah, and
That's awesome.
yeah, we had to practice it at least one time, and then we'd have to do like this hands-on test, and that was a part of it. And so I did it once, and then I think the second time around when we got in the garage, I was like, "Can I do it again?" Just to make sure.
Just, I'm not sure I got it right the first time. Let me try.
Yeah.
Well, in Maine, you probably have to use that a lot.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
I
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
do not
terrible.
envy you working on
No.
cars in Maine. My God. Like,
Yeah, there's so much rust. It's
ugh,
crazy.
yeah. It's like not just learning how to do the mechanical stuff, you're also having to learn how to deal with like things breaking and how to fix it when they break because
Yeah.
they do a lot when there's rust. So it's
Yeah.
like a whole
Yeah.
second level of things that you were learning.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes things just don't. It just doesn't come out easy. So you have to use heat, or that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to ask you this question because I'm sure you've experienced it a ton in Maine with things breaking on you. I feel like I've had this discussion a number of times with younger women coming into the field, kind of like the the fear of breaking something and like what to do when something breaks. Like, do you like How was that experience for you? Like knowing that you're gonna break stuff. Like, did it freak you out the first time it happened? Like, I'm sure
Um,
you've gotten used to it at this point to some degree.
yeah, I'm definitely getting used to it. I can't remember what the hell I broke first. Um,
There's been so many.
yeah. um, but yeah, I would get anxiety, like, about, like, if they give me a job and I'm like, oh my God, that's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be good. Like, exhaust work, that can be a nightmare because that's like one of the first things that rots away.
Yeah.
um, but I just am like, well, I'll just do what I can, and if it breaks, then
And it breaks.
I'll figure it out, or I'll ask for help if
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
um,
Amen to that. I think that's something that I think women particularly in automotive, like I think we feel like there's more eyes on us. And so when something breaks, there's like I think we tend to beat ourselves up more than the average Joe. I think nobody likes breaking things, let's be honest, right?
yeah,
But especially starting out, it's like getting over that fear and that frustration and
yeah,
realizing that it's okay.
right, yeah, yep, yeah. I kind of sometimes I feel like I'm like I don't like asking for help, but I will if I really have to. But like I gotta remind myself that it's okay if it doesn't work out, no, or if I don't know. Like I feel like that I have to do it myself, but sometimes I can't.
Yeah,
But it's all right.
absolutely. So what was
Um,
your first job in the industry? Did you get a job in the industry while you were going to school?
yeah. So uh, we had to do like an internship. It was kind of like
Okay.
a class, but and I started out at a Dodge dealership in my town,
Okay.
and my first job was an oil change,
Okay.
and but then they did end up moving me not shortly after to the alignment rack, so
Oh,
I became alignment tech for the next 2 years.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Interesting. Had
yeah.
you like shown a knack for that or they just moved you into there without knowing and you learned while
They
you
did.
were going?
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't really know. I mean, I told them I did some at school, and
Yeah.
but I was good at it. Once I got used to it and figured it out, I was good at it, and then they just kept me there. Which, I mean, it was okay, but kind of after so long, it was kind of like almost being a baker again. Like,
Right. Same old every day.
yeah, like, oh, I kind of adjust this tie rod. Oh, it's frozen. I gotta get the torch.
Well, at least you got to use your torch a lot.
Yeah, I definitely did. uh, I mean, it was good, but at the same time, I wanted to still try other things too, because I was new, and I want to figure out what I like and what I don't like, and just try new things.
How did you get out of that? I know sometimes like the dealership life likes to kind of put you in a place and sometimes leave you there because you're good
Yeah,
at it or whatever, and they don't want to bring you out to do new things. How did you break
right.
out of that?
Well, I tried talking to my boss at the time there, and I let him know that I like to do other things, and I did get to do some stuff. Once in a while, I get to do a brake job or a tune up, but it wasn't much. And I don't know. There was this last time I asked him, and I don't think he cared, honestly. It just he didn't really care. So I ended up leaving when the opportunity came. I
there,
was
there
like,
you go.
yeah. Yeah.
Note to employers out there, give your people room to grow because they
Right.
believe you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just worked there for a while, got more experience, and when the opportunity arose, I applied for the job at the Ford dealership, same town, and then I think it was, I don't know, a week or two after that, and talked to him and ended up switching over there. So
Did they start you on alignments too?
no, no.
Oh,
No, I already had an alignment guy,
okay.
which is
Nice.
awesome. I was like, that's fine. That's great.
So the place where you were an alignment tech, was that the same Dodge dealership that you did your job shadow at or your like internship at?
Yeah,
Okay. Very cool. So they hired you out from there.
yeah.
Okay, I want to go still in the Dodge dealership before you left and got set free and were able to actually spread your wings a little bit. I hear a lot of people, male and female, say that they start out the dealership, they start out as a lube tech, and then they get stuck there, and they don't want to give them a chance to move up from lube tech. You moved into alignments and then got stuck there, but that's still, a lot of people even hope for that. How did you get moved out of lube tech into alignment? How did that happen, or what do you attribute that to?
Um, I think it was because I was new, and the person that was on the alignment rack, they had more experience than me, so they just wanted me to switch, and so that way he could do like, uh, I don't even know, like wheel
They were
bearing.
moving him up to being a general tech.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were there other lube techs at the time, or was it just you?
Um, Mainly just me, and they'd have like, um, kind of everybody would do everything.
Okay.
There was one technician there, and who's been there the longest, but it's also the boss's son, so he would rarely do anything with tires, oil changes. He was mainly like um, he did a lot of electrical work, so
So he was like the diagnostic tech.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So you got sick of being there, sick of doing the same thing over and over and having them not give you what you wanted. You move
Right.
over to Ford. Tell me what that's been like. Because you're now are you at the same dealership now?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah.
Nice.
It's been great. They well, there was they were bought out
Oh,
like a year ago, a couple of years ago now.
okay.
And so there was kind of like new people who owned it, but he's like, but the boss that I have now is awesome compared to what I did have. He's great. Like he actually gives a crap. And
Makes a world of difference, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. It's incredible. It's great. And I get like the main focus from what they want me to do is electrical and drivability.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah,
That's
there's a tech there. He's worked there for like 32 years, and that's what he does. And he's gonna like retire in like a year or two.
oh wow.
So
So he's like training you up as a replacement.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
That's
So I've
really
been
cool.
with him, and like I don't think I'm doing as much as I should be, but we're kind of in a tight spot where um there's me and like there's only, let me think, me, Daryl. So there's 5 techs right now,
Okay, so it's a
including,
small dealership.
yeah, pretty small. And we just hired a guy, so it's
Nice.
been hard to try and work with him, and there's so much work coming in, and yeah.
So
But,
what do you mean
yeah.
when you say you don't feel like you're doing as much as you should?
Well, I just,
Is not having enough time or not enough space or not being allowed to?
Not have enough time with working with him in electrical, and like it's electrical is kind of like my weak point, and I don't want it to be. So, but there's so much, and there's so much to learn, and and he's not gonna stay around forever. So, kind of feel that pressure, and I'm not sure. I don't think they totally understand how much goes into that. but we'll see
So are
what
you
happens.
working directly under this technician, like as kind of his helper, or are you flat rate or are you hourly? How do they have you structured?
Hourly. Yeah,
What's that?
we're
Oh,
hourly.
the whole dealership is?
Yeah, I
Oh, that's
think
kind of
that,
nice.
yeah, at least all the technicians are. Yeah.
Nice. Do
Yeah.
you, I'm curious because I've always worked at places that are flat rate and it's, I think, a different culture.
Yeah.
Was the other dealership you were at also flat rate or also hourly, I mean?
Hourly. Yep.
They were hourly as well. Do you feel like the people in your shop are willing to take time out to help you and teach you stuff?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. The guy that I work with the most, his name's Daryl. He'll help me out anytime, like no problem. And if I need help and go to other guys, they'll help me out too.
Nice.
Um, there's a younger guy there. He's younger than I am. He's pretty good about it, but sometimes you can tell he's kind of like a little bit irritated. but,
Fair
but
enough.
but I help them out whenever I can too if they need it. So
Nice. So going from being the lube tech and then being the alignment tech and being restricted to that, and then suddenly you go into the Ford dealership and it's like, all of the things. Was it overwhelming? I mean, being in school, learning all the things is very different than doing all the things
yeah, it
in the
is.
shop.
Yeah.
Was that overwhelming for you making that switch?
um, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking for a while. uh, well, I mean, they went kind of slow, just figuring out what I can do and what I can't, because I'm still, fairly new to this. And, I told them, right from the get-go, I've done a few things, but I'm not, you know, uh, real well with it. So, like, uh, I've done, I've done so much more though. Like, I've done, well, ton of brakes and like wheel bearings, suspension work, exhaust work. I've done more electrical, kind of doing everything at the moment right now.
Yeah, learning all the things.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. Go
the,
ahead, sorry.
I'm definitely more comfortable now than I was. Now that I've gotten used to everybody and figured out where everything is. So,
I have to give huge props to your dealership for being willing to hire somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience in
yeah,
all of the things because I think that's probably like the biggest challenge that both men and women coming into the industry experience is like nobody wants to give you a chance. How are you supposed to get experience if nobody will give you a chance?
right.
So
Yeah.
was it hard to find another job or was it relatively easy
Um, like,
when you left Dodge? Yeah.
well, I'm still actually, it was fairly easy, kind of, but it was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I got lucky. Like, a couple technicians were leaving there, so I heard about it, and I was still working at the Dodge dealership. I was like, well, I'll just put in my application, see what happens. So, and,
Nice.
yeah, and then they got in contact with me like a week later, and I talked to them, and then,
There you are.
yeah, it worked
Awesome.
out.
How long have you been at Ford now?
Little over a year now.
Okay. Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So, of all the things that you're learning, You said electrical is kind of your weak spot, but I mean, that sounds like a lot of what you're doing. Do you have an area that is your like favorite to do
Um,
thus far?
um, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe brakes, I guess. I kind of like, that came easily to me. Um, I don't know. I kind of like
All of it.
everything. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do you think's been the biggest challenge for you so far? Not necessarily a part of the car, but maybe it is, but just like in your career thus far, what the biggest challenge has been?
Um, well, it was, I guess, I don't know. Trying to
If
think.
you haven't had any, that's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. Probably the biggest challenge was when I was at the Dodge dealership. Just, um, I don't know. I guess it was because I was new, and I don't know if something like the service manager and my boss in there at the time, like they didn't. I feel like they didn't take me seriously and trying to. So, what I wanted to do, or what I said, like I was getting experience as I went along, but sometimes I feel like they wouldn't really believe me. So,
Yeah.
but trying to
I
get
think
someone
that's,
to listen to me.
yeah. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest challenges, like especially as a woman. I think it's hard. It's hard for everybody, right? Like I get people saying this all the time, like, oh, it's just as hard for men. Like it is hard for both men and women to come into this industry. Like our industry is not an easy industry to break into.
Yeah.
But like you add to that this like thing that happens with women where they're like, do you really want to do this? Like they don't believe you that you really want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
like they're expecting you just to drop off anytime.
yeah, like this was fun, something to do. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and yet women have to work that much harder. Like we tend to push ourselves harder to prove that we can, to prove that we want it.
Right.
Like
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
so you're doing all of this while raising how many children?
Um, Skylar and my now husband, he has two kids as well. So
Ah,
they're like so I have two step kids and
yeah,
my daughter Skylar. And but
nice.
yeah. It,
How the heck do you balance all of that?
uh
Because that's like
honestly,
super woman power right there.
right. Well, honestly, my family helped me out so much. They're so supportive, and my mom and dad, they watched Skylar while I was gone at school at night, and
Nice.
yeah, I couldn't have done it without him. I really couldn't have. It just wouldn't have been possible.
Were
So
they supportive of what you were pursuing as far as school?
yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, they were
Did it
really happy.
surprise them at all, or were they just like, "Oh yeah, this makes sense"?
That I think it did surprise them, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, yeah, I can see that. I think it just surprised them that I actually did it. But,
That's fair. Excuse me. COVID, man.
yeah, it's no fun.
No fun at all. I meant to ask, where in Maine are you?
Geez, let me see. I don't know, kind of like in the middle. I'm an hour north of Bangor. I don't know if that's
Okay.
well.
I have a good friend who lives in Yarmouth.
Oh, yeah, that
I don't know
sounds
if that's anywhere near you, but I was there once and it was the middle of winter and I will never do that again. I don't know.
Yeah, wintertime isn't that fun.
No.
No, it lasts too long. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the rest.
Yeah.
That's why I left New York, because of rest and cold and winter and no thank you.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So there was a comment earlier, it was a while ago, but somebody was saying that based on everything that you're saying and the skills that you've said that you have, that you would do really well at a restoration shop. And I actually, when you said that you lit up with the torch, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't go into welding or into fabrication, liking the torch that much. Is that something you've ever considered?
Um, I do like welding a lot. They did have us take a welding course while we was there. That
Nice.
was a lot of fun. I don't know. I mean, I did get a welder not that long ago, so I'll probably
Nice.
play with that. But um, there really isn't like, not that I know of, I haven't heard of anything like, there's not really any restoration shops around
I
here.
know. Yeah.
Um, they're kind of dwindled away. So there's like some auto body repair shops, but I don't know if I would want to do that. That's a lot of work. I've I've talked to a few guys who have done it, and they're like, nope. And one guy's about ready to retire, and he's like, I'm so sick of this.
Oh wow.
Jesus. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. But then again, I do have a car that my dad gave me that's like a full restoration job.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
And what is that?
it's I was told it's a 57 Chevy
Oh, a truck or a car?
car. Yep.
I
Yeah,
got
he's
excited when you said truck, but
yeah.
cars are cool too.
Yeah, he's my dad's had it for a while. It's just a shell, and he has the frame for it, but that's pretty much it. He did have some other parts, but they ended up getting stolen. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, that's
bummer.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like restoration work's probably much harder in Maine too, just because everything just rusts apart and
yeah.
dies. Like out in Arizona, cars last forever, right? But I have a friend up in Vermont as well, and she's like, cars just die. They disintegrate. Like even if they're mechanically sound, they just disintegrate.
Yeah, yes, it's crazy. But, there's tons of vehicles that'll come in and frames are rotted right out in spots. So you got to be careful when you lift them because you don't know, and
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Do you ever have to tell somebody that like their car is not worth fixing because it's so rotted?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've had to do that a few times. But there's some that just won't give up, and like we had a welding company come over and weld this on each side of the frame, this F-150. I mean, it was rotted right out, but they wanted it fixed, and so they welded this huge chunk of the frame on
Oh
each
wow.
side, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $2,000 or something
Oh
just
geez.
to do that. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like at that point, when the truck is that rotted out, it's not going to take much for another section to go,
Right?
probably even
Yeah.
next year. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if it was worth it. I don't think so.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it's like I
Do you have to deal with the customers at all?
not really.
Nice.
Um, sometimes you gotta talk to them, but most of the time I don't have to, so it's good.
Very cool. What um what what are you looking forward to most kind of moving forward? Like are they sending you to training? Are there bigger types of jobs that you're wanting to do? Like, do you see yourself staying in this Ford world and dealership for the long haul?
Yeah, I think, I'll stay there. I would, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I would in the future like to be able to work for myself. But for now, yeah, I definitely plan on staying at that dealership. Um, I mostly am looking forward to like um, engine work. Like, I want to get inside.
Do they do a lot of engine work at your shop? A
Um,
lot of like dealerships, I know they don't do like in the engine. They just do engine replacements if the engine is bad, but like do all the stuff around it.
um, yeah, sometimes. Like I guess it depends. What the situation is. But sometimes you get what is it? Uh, like there's some stupid recall, and it's got to do with the what is it? Variable cam timing, I think.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if if like I think it was on Expedition, he had to take it all apart and the timing chains, and you had to replace those
Okay. Yeah.
because it just mess up. Apparently, that's really common. It's like,
Yep.
uh,
And very, very fatal
yeah,
to the engine,
water,
that is.
right. And then and then like Fords, the water pumps. They get driven by like the timing chain and
Yeah.
some of them, and it's like, holy cow, they got to go right in there.
Have you done any of that work yet?
No, not yet.
Ah,
I
it's
hope
so much fun.
to.
I saw some craziness you were doing with like thermostat housings and like that you have to put in and lock into place itself. Like I've not
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that before. I don't
Yeah.
work on a lot of Fords, so most of
Oh,
the cars I work on, like you take the thermostat housing out, it's got the whole thermostat in it, or like it's just a standalone little thing. Like your whole like having to push it down and
yeah. Yeah, I never seen one like that either. And that was all for a recall. And
oh wow.
yeah, and but yeah, the thermostat housing, uh, you have to take that off, and then it has that retainer, and then it has the spring. So you have to push down the spring and then spin that retainer to get it out or put it back in. And that thermostat is
So
just
crazy.
a little teeny bull bugger.
Yeah. So crazy. So
Yeah.
crazy. I really appreciate too that you showed that video, like acknowledging first try, second try, third try, like, and then finally getting it. Like, I really appreciate that because it's so easy to just show that, ta-da, I did it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we always struggle with something. I mean, not all jobs are easy, and it can be frustrating. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's all a part of it.
How do you keep yourself going when it feels really frustrating or feel like giving up or the challenge feels too great?
um, honestly, not sure. I guess I just, I
Just
don't
give
know.
yourself a pep talk.
Yeah, yeah, I just kind of like stop and take a minute, and it's like, it's okay. Like, what? Calm down. You'll be okay. We can get it. So, like, like giving up is
I
just
like
not
it.
an option. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a. I think a lot of mechanics talk to themselves for that reason. We're constantly like talking to the cars that we're working on, talking to ourselves, like get back in there, do what you're supposed to do. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's half convincing ourselves that we can do it, and half trying to somehow convince the part to do what it's supposed to do.
right. Yeah, yeah. I see that a lot. In myself, and
Have
then
you
in my
started doing
work.
it a lot though?
Yeah.
What's that?
So to see it
Your
in myself
coworkers
and coworkers. Yeah.
and your yes. I love it. All right. So any of your one kid child, your daughter, and then you have two step kids, any of them show interest in cars at all? Does your daughter show any interest? I saw there was a picture of you teaching, I'm assuming your daughter, underneath the car.
Yeah. Yeah, she shows interest. I don't know if she'll stick with it. I mean, so but she really likes doing stuff with me, no matter what it is. So and she knows I like cars a lot, so she wants me to help. You know, she wants to help me, and which is awesome. You know, I want her to know at least the basics. You know,
Yeah.
And the other kids, so Skylar's 10, and then we have Cosmo and
It's a great name.
Brooke. Cosmo he's 8, and then we have Brooke, another Brooke. She's 13. She doesn't. They don't show any interest in doing it. But with Brooke, she wants to drive. So we told her, if we bought her a vehicle, she would have to learn how to change her own oil. She's like, oh, okay.
Well, that's cool that she said okay to that. Some kids are like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, no, she's really good about it.
Nice.
She's an awesome kid. Yeah, she likes learning new things. So,
That's awesome.
I mean, that's not what she's gonna want to do, but yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we're coming towards the end of our hour, and I always like to end on same question, which is if you have the chance or had the chance to go back and talk to the younger you, little baby Brooke, um, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell another young woman out there wanting to go into this kind of job?
Well, I guess I would say, don't worry about what others think of you. You know, it doesn't matter what they say. That bothered me for a long time, but not so much anymore. Yeah, just forget what other people think and don't give up. You know, if you really like it and you want to do it, then just do it.
How did you get over the caring what other people think? Because you said you used to, now you don't anymore. How did you get over that?
Honestly, it took me a really long time. It like I don't know why, but it bothered me since I was a little kid, and then over the years, I'm like, they're not gonna stop. So I have to be able to, in my mind, you know, block them out, and it's probably different for everybody, but it took me a long time.
Well, you're not alone in that. I think probably most human beings can say that they have at some point, if not still, or just once in a while throughout their lives, worry too much about what other people think of them. So you're definitely not alone in that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not an easy thing to do, but you just gotta do what you think is right for yourself and not listen to them.
Amen to that.
Because
Cheers.
they don't.
No, they don't. I think that's like the best like realization. I think like that moment when you realize that everybody has a ton of insecurities and everybody is worried about what other people think of them, and everybody has the same like stuff going on. Like we all have the same stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I super appreciate you hanging out with me. I know we've tried to get you scheduled for a little while and things were kind of crazy, so I appreciate you working with us and finally getting on here. It was a ton of fun to meet you.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah. You got to come out to Phoenix sometime. It's much warmer here than in Maine.
Yeah. Yes, I would love to.
Please do. I may come visit Maine at some point to visit my friend, and if I do, I will reach out to you and let you know I'm in town, but it will not be until it's warmer there. Just
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
establish that. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, my dear. Well, have a fantastic evening. I really appreciate you spending the time with me. And everybody at home, thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining in on these Trades Lady Happy Hours. We do these every week. You can catch all of the past ones on my IGTV and check out all of the other amazing women that we've interviewed over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. How crazy is that? But we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep doing Trades Lady Happy Hours for a long time to come. So thank you guys so much for joining in. Make sure you come back next week. Make sure you go check out the Mad Brooker on Instagram to check out and follow along with everything that she is up to and give her some love and support. And other than that, make sure you come back next week for our next episode. And until then, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. We'll talk to you soon.